Hey guys, welcome back to Jack on Tracks, and in this episode we're going to finish up some more of the stuff on this bar and brothel build. I thought I recorded this, but apparently I didn't. I put the roof together following the instructions. I put the trim around the outside. I gave it a quick wash in here of the aged barnwood, so it just doesn't look like plywood. You're really not going to see it. I thought while I did that, I gave everything a couple of, actually 2 coats of the aged barnwood, and it really brought the whole thing together. It when you saw it before, it looked a little blotchy here and there. You could definitely tell that there was distinctive lines between each color of each board. So now you can still see there's different colors with these boards, but it looks like it's been together for a long time. Did the stairs as well. So we're just gonna put this over here for now. What we gotta do is we gotta do the roof. I started doing it and checked the camera and I wasn't recording. So here we are. All right, so basically, we gotta put each one of these rafters on here one by one. So it says in the instructions that he forgot to record it. Okay. There's a couple of little pieces that I'm not sure where they go. They don't show up on the instructions either. So the only thing, it's those little pieces right there. The only thing I can think of is possibly those are window chocks to chock the windows open, because they would be tilt out windows. So the only thing I can think of, I don't see them anywhere around here. Not in the back either. So yeah, those pieces right there. They don't, like I said, they don't show up anywhere on here about what they are, so I can't tell you what they are. All right, so what I gotta do is I gotta take these rafters out, these little joists. Canopy glue dries relatively quickly, so I'm only doing a couple at a time and then just replacing the can. That's basically that. So we'll continue on with that. We'll speed up. I'll do it in a fast motion, so you don't have to see it much. Alright, so that fits on there like that. That actually fits pretty good. Let that dry. This roof is done. Let me this goes in here like this. I don't know where it is, doesn't make any sense where it goes. Probably, I was thinking about it a little more. I probably would have put it up front, but that doesn't make sense either because it's right in front of the windows. It's just in a bad spot. And you know what it is? It's just a sewer pipe. So that's just going to go in there. We're going to black that out. I'm going to shorten it up so you can't really see it. Doesn't really matter. It's just there because there's supposed to be a pipe there. So, but that's basically it. This top, I have copper. Contemplating doing this in this copper. and then sponging on the patina onto it. I might do that. As far as the exterior goes, I'm thinking of going with this called aged white. Thinking of brushing on some aged white. I'm more concerned with the front than the sides and the back, because some of these buildings, they just paint the front up really, and these sides just aged out. They oil them, which is actually a common thing I've found out. They just take oil it down, it seals the wood. So we might just do that. I think that's what I'm going to do. Figuring under here is going to be protected by the weather and the sun, so this should be, a little bit more colored. I think I'm going to pause right now. I'm going to let this dry up a little bit more. It's pretty dry. Someone said seal this up before I did this, and I didn't. So that's what I'm going to do, because this is really soaking. It's almost like a whitewash on this thing. Yeah, we're gonna go and give it a quick, and then come back after it's done. After this dries, I think I'm gonna hit this. I'm gonna hit this with a little dull coat, and then come back in, touch up areas. Oh, it's actually coming out pretty good, I think. Like I said, this is the first time I ever did this. This is the first time I ever did anything with wood, so I don't know. I hope it comes out looking pretty good. If not, I'm going to light it on fire. I'm kidding. It's not really showing up with the grays and stuff like that, because that gray is very reflective right now still. But when I dull coated a couple of pieces and it flattened, it got rid of that sheen. So I'm hoping that's what it does here, and hope it looks good. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm going to give this a dull coat, let this dry, give this a little dull coat. I'm going to leave the stairs the way it is. Under the stairs, a little cleaner. I think after this gets a dull coat, I think is going to make it pop a little bit more. And I'll come over this again if I have to and give it another wash and stuff like that. This door, I haven't decided what to do with this door yet. I might paint this door up really solid and then do the trim a different color, or it actually looks pretty good. I'm going to go with I'm thinking a green. I got a dark green. I'm thinking of going with a dark green trim on this. So we'll weather up some trim on it. And I think that's what we're going to do with that. Dark green trim on it. And the windows and everything are going to be the dark green. We'll weather them up. I think this front's going to get a good paint job, like a nice paint job on it, like it was just done. I may throw some paint cans down the bottom over here, just to give it that look. I'm liking the way these cracks are showing up on the sides, like that. I like that. It's going to look good over here. I think this crack is going to show up pretty good, and this crack is going to show up pretty good. So basically, what I'm doing is I'm going to figure out how to get this. I'm gonna get the floor lined up in here on both sides, and then I'm gonna go from there. Once that's done, I'll fit the floor in here. You had to glue it onto the bottom, so that's just that. I probably could have got away with not gluing onto the bottom, but this thing would have been just falling apart. I should have did the floor before I glued this back on. I could have slid it in, sized it up, but I didn't. I'll figure out what I got to do. If I got to do posts on the side and just set it on the top, I'll do that. Not really sure, but basically the whole inside. This whole thing's going to get lined with black paper. So when there's lights in here, the lights don't shine through all the cracks and stuff. But you'll be able to see the black paper in here. It'll show up against that. I think it'll show up against that too. I think it's going to look pretty good, I think. This crack back here is going to look really good. This back here is, I don't know what I'm doing back here. I might just do a little more dry brushing on the back and then go from there. All right, guys. So just give me a couple minutes and I'll be right back. Hey, guys. So as you saw before, I was able to this 402 wire was able to fit, right? It's a 402. Double check that. Yeah, the 402 red SMD LED. It came pre-wired. I did a little test over here with some of this UV resin, and it worked out great. I put a little drop in there. I like this for setting the UVs. It made like a little dome over it. It's okay. I might put a little dull coat over the top of that when this is all done to flatten that out a little bit. But I think it's going to look pretty good. That's going to go over the door. We'll put it over the door of this building. So basically, if you take the UV, you take the resin and just and put a little bit on here, a good length of it, and I'll take the UV light and harden it, and then we're going to come back in. We're going to do a little touch-up painting on this. I was going to do this color first, but I got to touch it. I got to touch up the wire. So let me grab the color I'm going to need, which is Tamiya black. Probably got to do both of them, but yeah, let's get that done. You want to put this on a little heavy. Not really heavy, but you want a good amount on here. You want to see it wrap around both sides. They actually give you a little pad to use with this. I should have taken it out. Alright, the only good thing about UV resin is that, alright, just let it sit for a minute. As you can see, it's getting like little droplets on it. Alright, so I take my light, turn it on, I put it down. I just take a piece of paper, just run it down a couple times, get those drops up, and wham. I mean, it has like a little odor to it, but not horrible. I'm not like a 3D printer. We're using a lot of it. Now that wire is all, you're still going to see a little bit of wire shape in it, but that's just the way it's going to be. Can't really do anything about it. Nothing's really coming off of it. There's still a little something coming off of it. That's not 100% dry. I just want that to dry up so I can get it off my board. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. That's dry. So I did the same thing over here as a test piece. So now the wire's straight. You can see it's coated, and I can bend it wherever I need to bend it to make this look like what I need it to look like. Probably gonna put a bend like that, and it's gonna be right outside this door. Alright, so let me continue on with this, and we'll be right back. I want to build up a little more resin on that end piece right there. A lot of guys say you can clean this up with isopropyl alcohol, which I have a Q-tip and I'm going to do that real quick. And then I'm going to cut this clear of this thing right here so we can finish paint. Takes a little time for it to really cure, so alright, so we got that. Q-tip. That's all you need. Alright, so I'm going to take some of this. I mean, it's not perfect, but it is what it is. If it looks horrible, if it looks that bad on the model, I can always come back in here, lay a date, and make another one. Alright, so put this in the craw over here, and let that dry. I put a heavier coat on the front of the building, and I started doing a little dry brushing on the side pieces. They're going to be green. So basically this side is, I just did that side just to try it out to see what I had to do, and it became apparent. It's not that difficult. Okay, so basically what I need to do here is I need to put a little piece down here, a piece there, and a piece down here. Alright, we're just going to let that dry up, and then we'll come back in, we'll trim it, and then I just have to fit. As you saw, the roof is, this roof is done. Alright guys, so I wasn't able to find it, but I cut a new piece. This is just basically, it's actually crayon craft paper in black. What I like about it is it's not too black, so it kind of looks a little weathered, a little aged. So this is going to take two coatings to put across there. So that's exactly what I want. I don't know, I'm not sure if you can see this over here, but what I do is I take the glue, I put the glue on top of the craft paper, and then I take a brush and I brush it onto the paper, and it just gets me an even coating on there. That's that on there, and like I said, this glue dries pretty quick. It's already setting up. So I'm going to come in here with my scissor. That should be okay. I hope it's okay. I'm pissed at that coating because this is, once this is on, this is on. This is not coming off. Maybe it is coming off. There we go. Try this one more time. This gets a wash, and then what I've done before to protect the paper is I actually hit this with a little bit of ballasting medium glue. It just soaks in, and it just it keeps the paper from getting ruined. So we'll just let this dry, and then we'll trim it down the side. I think it's going to look pretty good. Coming out pretty good. Stairs. Trim's looking good. We're going to put the sign across here after I get the windows in. Got a couple of signs to put up on the side. The light's going to be there. Light might be a little bit forward over here. Shines down the stairs a little bit. Windows in the front and back. I mean, coming along pretty good. Still got to do the interior. I'm having a little bit of an issue thinkulating on how I'm doing this interior. $9.85. All right, so basically, what we do is, if you guys don't own one of these, bad boys, this thing is so handy. You can use this on so many different things. I'm going to use this to cut styrene. I used it to cut the paper for the top. It's so useful. Sanding, but that'll fit perfect in there. Alright, I do like this V-groove stuff a lot. It's pretty thick. I've done three or four different floors with it. I actually did mess up a little bit. I wanted the floor to run this way. You're really not going to see it, but you will see the floor. You look in there, it'll give the perspective. Everything is just the appearance. It's not. I'm definitely not prototypical. All right, so that's basically that. It's pretty level. What do we got? I got a lot of them. I got a lot of these at like kind of the right time. And what I mean by that was they were I got them like dirt cheap on eBay. Again, like when I see something below list price, I tend to bid on it. Alright guys, so let me do a little thinkulating and I'll be right back. Alright guys, welcome back. Alright, so I got the floor pretty much done and this is kind of the beginning of the roof. I'm not getting the color I want in here, so I'm going to probably do a black wash on here. The powder actually definitely flattened it out much, but it's looking too much like candy apple red here, so we're going to do some more washes on that. We'll put that over here for now. Let me get back to here. The floor is just laying in here. I sprayed it gray, so for now it looks pretty decent gray. Probably going to do a little dry brushing on it, whatever. I just wanted to get everything in there and see what's going on with it. All right, so I took an LED and I laid an LED in here. And I got light shining through everywhere. First floor, second floor. All right, so what I need to do, I need to pop this out. All right. I'm going to lay that over here. I got the windows. Well, the glass for the old wood parts. I just got this one painted up and it's drying. We'll get that in there. And it's actually going to get frosted. The back's going to get frosted too. We're just going to have light coming through, nothing else. All right, so basically, I got this piece of paper that I use to make the do the roof on here, which is now bowed. So we're gonna worry about that shortly. So looks pretty good. We're gonna hit that with some powders and stuff. It'll bring it all together. So what I got to do is I got to figure out how much how tall I need to cut this. An inch and a quarter. All right, so once again, go back to the cutter here. Tell you, you don't have one of these things. I mean, you've seen how many times I've used it so far. It is actually pretty decent. I think I paid $10 for this, or $15. All right. We're going to use this again in a second, but height-wise, it's actually, I thought I cut it a little short, but it turns out to be perfect. It's a little wide. Trim it up. I'd rather trim it up. Since you're really not seeing in here, you're just gonna, I'm gonna cut that out so light comes through the window. But that blackens it. Actually, that works pretty freaking good. All right. So, yep. Basically, I just got to put a little glue on here just to hold it in. Doesn't have to be spectacular, but it's going to be spectacular because I need to up it a little bit. Okay, so let's give this 1 second. All right, so you saw I made this, right? So I have this copper. That's going to dry. When that's dry, we're actually going to come back in there with a little bit of this patina and patina. That does kind of have man, that really is close to that. You know something? I might try putting sponging on a heavy patina on top of that. You know, it's a classy place. I went with a copper roof. So basically what I want to do is I want to do the same thing with the top section, but I also want to put wallpaper in there too. So I'm trying to find some wallpaper to see if I can do it. I'm going to take a paintbrush and I'm actually going to paint and put dabs all over the inside of this thing. You got that blacked out. It's pretty much, yeah, pretty much. You can't really see it with the lights on, but you can see where in the cracks where someone's coming through. But that's going to be gone. Now, what I'm planning to do is I'm planning to run a single LED in here and possibly a red LED up here shining into the room. So it's not, I might use a soft white. I'm probably going to use a soft white, and I'm really going to turn it down. So, but what I like about this is that gap, you can still see the gap in there, but it's nice and blacked out. So that's where we're going with that. That's gonna happen after the floor gets put in, and we're just gonna let this dry over here for now. All right, let's start talking about the LEDs. Okay, so I'm contemplating doing. I'm not contemplating. I am doing the LEDs in here. So just haven't decided if I'm going to put it over here shining that way. I think I'm just going to have it in the front shining into the back, or I might just have it at the top shining down. I'm still trying to think about what I'm doing. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna line up everything in the front of the building, Now, I don't need to drill. I don't need to bore a friggin' huge hole in this thing. I just need to put a hole in there. Alright, so we got that. Now this was much easier for the front, I guess. Got a little piece out. Never gonna see it. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna put a soft white LED up front there and call that a day. Yeah, I think that's gonna look pretty freaking good. All right, guys, let's turn the light back on. And go from there. Alright, that's that. So, we'll leave the paper on the back of that. I kind of like the way that looks. Like there's a curtain drawn down on it. This back one's going to get fogged out. I'll put a curtain on this one. This one's going to get fogged out. These two are going to be clear. That's going to be clear. Alright, so we got these cut up and we're gonna go back in here and we're gonna start gluing these in back in again. Well, not again, we're gonna glue them in. I get a nice amount around these windows. I want these windows to stay in here. Alright, so that's basically that. That's all nice and closed up. So, like I said, I want to find wallpaper and put some wallpaper on the walls, and I'm going to complete everything. I'm going to leave so I'm going to leave the furnishing out of the inside. I might make another wall in here. Not 100% sure yet. I'm going to see how everything looks at this point, and then we'll come back to it. I can always just not glue the top on, and you only come back whenever I need to and add stuff. Yeah, I think it's going to look pretty good. And I actually don't know where we are in this video. I just lost complete track of this thing. This could be like a 7-hour video. So I'm going to edit this down. Once I cut these off, I'll throw these on, get the outside finished on this thing. And then I guess I'm going to have to start painting these windows up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the windows this green. And then I'm going to sponge on some of the other color over it to make it look faded. Because I'm not doing a wood grain on there, so it's just not going to work that way. But that's basically where we're at. All right, guys. So we'll let this dry, and then we'll come back. Yeah. Once I get this on and this interior is pretty much done, then we'll do these stairs. I don't want to have them on there yet. I'm going to break them. So this door is in. Oh, I got to glue the door. All right. I'll get to that. All right, guys. We'll be back. Hey guys, welcome back. So I got a sheet. A fellow YouTuber and I guess YouTube friend had a sheet of wall textures that he shot me a copy of, and we're going with it. I actually went online and I found the company that makes this, and I bought more stuff for another project coming up, so you'll see that. And I found a 3D, I found a printed wallpaper for inside of a passenger car, which I thought was hilarious. But if it is what it says it is, I actually have one of those passenger cars, and I can cut it out and slide it in. I don't know. That's kind of crazy, but we'll figure that out. All right, so I cut the first using this. I trimmed it out as straight as possible, trimmed it to length, and everything's looking good so far. I put the first piece in. It sits proud over here, and when it all dries, we'll come back in here and trim out this window. Basically, last night I threw these back moldings on. I got the rest of these lights installed, and in here the floor is in. I actually did a copy of a throw rug that's going to go in here too. A couple other odds and ends. I have yet to decide if I'm putting a wall up here yet. I might put a wall in here. Not 100% sure. If I do that, I kind of wasted this piece. So wallpaper's expensive. So back in the day, they had enough money to do 2 walls. They did the 2 walls, and they just painted the other wall blue. So this wall's a little weird because there's the light fixtures up at top, but as long as they get the bottom in, you're not going to notice the waves in it. So that's what we're going to do. Let me show you it. Listen, I'm not going any high-tech method of putting this in. I'm taking canopy glue, a decent amount of it, taking a paintbrush, and I'm just putting a good coating on this wall. Definitely want to get as much as possible around these doors. The openings, I want a lot around these openings. I want these openings to sit. I want this to dry up very well around these openings. So, wide part on the bottom. And the door really sealed in there. So we got that one in there. I know it doesn't sit right up top, but you can't see it when you look through the window, so it's fine. And then this blue wall over here, we're gonna do. Be that this is paper going on top of paper. This canopy glue is drying real quick. Now I'm gonna give this about 20 minutes to set up, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, the floor's in, the lights are on, this window's in. I gotta pull out the glass for the back of this one. This one I actually think I have to. This one I actually have to make. I believe. All right. So what we did was I shot these with some Mr. Oxide Red surface primer, and I did that for 2 reasons. 1, it's a primer, and 2, I'm gonna come in here with a sponge. That sponge and this gray, and I'm going to sponge it. Some of these sashes gotta get a little more. Not getting enough coverage in there, so just giving them a dirty brush. Back over here to dry, and then Then we'll get in there and do the windows. The front windows, we're gonna have to. I have a clear pit. I have some clear acetate that I'm gonna use for that. You're gonna need it for that because I need those to be clear so you can see what's going on inside. Doesn't have to be crystal clear, but clear one. Back window is done. Alright guys, we're gonna try a little old school trick on these. That worked on that one. A little messier than I wanted, but you know, luckily it's in the rear. But now I got the hang of what I got to do. Like crystal clear, so we're hoping that does it. I'll do the rest of these like this. The front windows I'm gonna cut a piece of clear plastic for. Alright, so we're gonna let that dry. I forgot it takes about a half hour or something for that to dry. So this is all going to dry up. It says 24 hours. All right, we'll let that dry for 24 hours. In the meantime, we'll come in here and we'll get the piece out that we need from in here.